bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game.
Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man, it's Thursday. Thursday, November 9th, 313 days into the new year, just 52 days left. Man, closing in on the end of the year. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California, and I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet, I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? It's Fadernight. It's Thursday. Yay! Open lines all night long. We got Jon Rappoport here with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. We got that at the bottom of the hour. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Hashtag F2B. We use TweetDeck. Get yourself TweetDeck. It is a Twitter product. Get yourself TweetDeck. Use that hashtag F2B. That's all you got to do. Man, Eric, that is a brilliant, brilliant GIF. Is it GIF or GIF? GIF is peanut butter, right? I've heard this debate forever. Is it GIF or GIF? I'm going GIF. GIF just doesn't sound right. You just want to say chunky or something. Look at Cat, man. That is a whole bowl full of wrong right there. But I like that one too. You guys are great. And thank you for that. So come and hang out with us on Twitter. Hashtag F2B. Any questions or comments during the show tonight or any other night? Hashtag F2BQ and Twitter. Chat rooms are open. Good evening, everybody. Let's hit this right here. Good evening in real time. So everybody on the bunker cam, you can see me right there, right? Yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Open lines all night long tonight. We've got Jon Rappoport. He's going to be here at the bottom of the hour. Great week here on the show. Last night, how was that with William Henry, right? That was pretty dang cool. Really, really got it. Somebody tweeted earlier. I saw it. Let me go back because it was a pretty funny tweet. Let me get past all these GIFs. Here it is. Murph says, did everyone get their edfucation on? That is a Fadernight right there. Well done, Murph. All right, you can email throughout the show tonight, too, as well, jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. And thank you to everybody that has entered our next late-night podcast star contest. Rules, how to enter, is everything you need is over at jimmychurchradio.com. Click on Game Changer at the top of the page. We have banners on the front page, too, as well. Click on that. All the contest rules are right there. All you got to do is pitch us, and we will pick somebody. You've got to pitch us. Okay? Submit an audio recording of your podcast show idea, podcast name, artwork, banner, logo, ABC. Get all of those to us. how to enter and what to do, and all the rules are right there at jimmychurchradio.com. Good luck. And that's it. All entries must be received by November 30th, 2017. Grand prize, a complete podcast studio, courtesy of Tascam Professional, which includes a Tascam Mini Studio Creator US42, a pair of MX2 headphones, and a TM95GN microphone, cables, everything you need to just plug in and get going and start creating and become the next podcast star. Okay? All right. Go and enter the contest. So far, it's just been absolutely amazing. And, yeah, competition is good. We expected that. So go and enter. All entries must be received by November 30th, 2017. And also, I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, getting the Unity community together. Their first series of podcasts, which will be on Portals, is being done right now, and they would like your help. Volunteers, producers, writers, also video and audio testimonials. For all of the details that you need, you can go over to our Facebook radio page for Jimmy Church Radio. It's right there. You can also contact John at modernmasters.org or Rita at jimmychurchradio.com. Our next event will be the Conscious Life Expo. It's coming up. It's coming up quickly, February 9th through the 12th, 2018, at the LAX Hilton. Tickets and info over at consciouslifeexpo.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. We have over 750 archive shows. Custom apps, Apple, Android, all platforms, just $2 a month. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the podcast banner. You can also become a Fadernight. Just go to our membership section over on our site. You'll get the Bunker Cam. Hello, everybody. It's on the Bunker Cam. And where are normally by this time somebody is posting pictures of the Bunker Cam. And I'm going to say what's going on here. I normally see some goofy picture of me doing something in the studio that shouldn't be captured. And it's not posted. I'm kind of bummed about that. What's going on? Kind of bummed about that. What's going on? Kind of. You get the Bunker Cam. You can get downloadable commercial-free archives. You can also get T-shirts and autograph hats. Just go to our membership section over at jimmychurchradio.com. Now, we have the best sponsors in the world for this show. Why? We have sponsors that have been with us for a long time, and that's because of you, the Fadernauts. The audience is big, but the audience is cool. It's a family, okay? Now, our sponsors have been with us for a very long time. Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, Rivermoon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, New Manna, and Bearing Optics, our two newest sponsors. Bearing, we've been working on that for a long time. We finally got that done. So all of your night vision needs, when we go out and do those sky watches, and we're doing everything that we do with night vision, I'm going to talk about that more in just a bit. But it's Bearing Optics that we use. Okay? So the banners are over at Jimmy Church Radio. Click on it, because when you go, you're going to speak with Alec Hoffman. He is a Fadernaut, and he knows everything about night vision. So just speak to him about your needs. What is it that you want to do? Night vision is absolutely incredible. Okay. Be careful what you wish for. Oh, that one's not too bad. There you go, Mike Aker. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see. That's a good Bunker Cam shot right there. Okay, you guys are good. You guys are funny. And New Manna. Again, now with Bearing Optics, mention that you're a Fadernaut, you're going to get a discount. And you're going to get personalized service with Alec Hoffman. New Manna, you're going to get not only a 5% discount off of the best food storage solutions in the world and the best tasting, but you're going to get a 5% discount, and you're going to get an autographed Fade to Black shirt for an order over $100. You can't lose. It is the best right? Ancient Life Oil, CBDs, promo codes. The promo code for New Pharma, it's simple, F2B, right? Ancient Life Oil, Fader, Life Change Tea, Fader, River Moon Coffee, F2B blend. You're going to get free shipping or discounts. So that's and they do this for you, the Fadernauts. They don't do this for everybody. They do this for Fade to Black and you. Okay? All right, let's get this show cracking. Tonight, what we're going to do, it's open lines all night long. Now, if you're a Fadernaut and you had the bunker cam and you were listening to me right before the show, which is one of the benefits of being a Fadernaut, you get the bunker cam, right? Everybody gets a free bunker cam on Thursday nights. And I announced there that tonight on the show, what we're going to do is this. I want to go old school. I want to hear your UFO encounter story, your alien encounter story. What got you here? What was that profound moment? What did you see? What is it? So call in and share your story. You do, and we will send you a free UFO book. And we're going to do that all night tonight. All night. Okay, so call in, share your story with all of the other Fadernauts. Share it with me, and you're going to get a UFO book. I have got here in the bunker, I've got at least 100 new, awesome books. And all of them are great. All of them. So don't you want a piece of that action? I mean, I've got stacks. I've got more than 100. But I've got stacks. So I just want to give them away. I want to give them to you. And all you have to do is bring your UFO encounter. That's it. I want to hear it tonight, all night. And, is that Robin Crosby? That looks like Robin. Is that Juan Cousier in the background? And Bobby Blotzer on drums? This could only come from, it's from Jordan. Is that the Round and Round video? That's pretty good. See, I know I've got the big hair knowledge. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Okay? The big UFO book giveaway and all of your calls. Just, what was that UFO encounter? I want to hear it, share it with everybody else. All right, let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today. The Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, is 66. Also, I got to give a big happy birthday to Fadernaut Aaron. Sup, Aaron. Happy birthday. And I know you guys are tearing it up right now. I can only imagine. Are you guys inside or outside? You got the Bluetooth speakers cranking outside. Is that what you guys are doing? Poolside? Some, and I know you guys are mixing drinks. Happy birthday, Aaron. All right. Our dead guy's birthday today. Carl Sagan, 1934 to 1996, died so young at the age of 62. Best known for co-writing and narrating the award-winning television series Cosmos. He also, and I think we all remember this, but it's not talked about enough like it should be. He wrote the novel Contact, which was turned into the film with Matthew McConaughey, James Woods, and Jodie Foster. Happy birthday, Carl Sagan. Now, after suffering from cancer for 2 years and receiving 3 bone marrow transplants from his sister Carrie, and we all remember when that was going down, Sagan died at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle, Washington, in 1996. There you go. Happy birthday, Carl Sagan. And he kind of flip-flopped on the whole UFO thing. That's what was pretty trippy about Sagan. And we were talking about that last night with William Henry. He kind of flip-flopped on us. How can you say, well, anyway, he's dead. Happy birthday, Carl Sagan. Flip-flopper. OTD, on this day in history, East German officials in 1989 opened the Berlin Wall, allowing travel from east to west Berlin. The following day, all hell broke loose. Celebrating Germans tore down that wall. Remember watching that live on TV? Remember that block after block? Just jackhammers. Remember that? just huge mechanical devices. Just man, that was intense. I wonder where all that wall went. Sagan pissed me off, Scott says. He did, man. He flip-flopped. What happened to the wall? What I mean is it in everybody's living room now? You know, a coffee table made out of that. I'd do it. Man, if I had a chunk of that, I'd make a coffee table out of it. What happened? That was a lot of concrete, wasn't it? Fader fact. In 2005, a young nun in Romania died at the hands of a priest during an exorcism after she was bound to a cross, gagged, and left for days without food or water, all in an effort to expel demons. And that is a Fader fact. All right, it's Thursday. Tonight's another Fader night. Open lines all night long with Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. He'll be here. Call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Tonight, we're going to do the big UFO book giveaway. I want to hear your stories. What is it? What got you here? Right? What got you here? And so share your stories with myself and all of the Fadernauts. We want to hear your story. I do. You know, everybody listens to my stories all the time. And now the phone lines are lighting up. I haven't opened up the phone lines yet. It's not going to be for a while. So you guys just relax. Okay? All right? I'm not going to put somebody on hold for 40 minutes. So when I open up the phone lines, everybody can have a even crack at getting in here first. But I'm going to talk about some other stuff, but I can't really go forward without mentioning what I've been talking about this week. And tomorrow night, I'll be over at Coast to Coast. My guest will be Peter Lavenda, and then followed by open lines all night long. And then on Saturday night, my guests are Daniel Brinkley and Bryce Zabel. I'm going to have Bryce in. And why? Because of what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, which is quite seriously this sexual allegation thing, this purge that is going on, and purging the foul of Hollywood, right? Not only Hollywood, but it's politics, and it's across the board. Let's just call powerful men. You know, no women have been brought down so far. I don't know. Are there any women on the list? Well, today, Louis C.K. Well, it happened last night. Louis C.K. got added to the list. And Louis C.K. had a movie that was premiering today or tomorrow by The Orchard, right? Sony Studios pulled. They pulled that film. It is Hollywood is tripping out. And the list, so I spent all of 5 minutes compiling a quick list of just the names that are in the headlines right now. I didn't go deep. I didn't go back 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I'd have 100 names here. But of course, everybody's still talking about Bill Cosby because he kicked this off, and we have Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, but George H.W. Bush, Ben Affleck, Roy Price, the head of Amazon Studios, Oliver Stone, Harvey's brother Bob, who it now appears that he's just as bad as Harvey, John Besh, you know, the chef, James Toback, Leon Wieseltier, the editor of The New Republic. The New Republic. Man. Oliver Stone, Charlie Sheen, Terry Richardson, Mark Halperin, Bill O'Reilly, Roger Ailes, Jeremy Piven, Dustin Hoffman, Brett Ratner, and Brett, one of the one of the up and coming future of Hollywood type directors. Brett Ratner. That's incredible. He's had a lot of success too. Jeffrey Tambor. What a funny actor, right? Andy Dick. Andy Dick has been going down here in Hollywood for a long time, but the cameras and TMZ have been all over him here in the Valley. In the Valley, this is what the bartenders do, and this is on the web. You can actually go and find this list. The bartenders at bars here in the Valley have a text chain that they do. Right? And they're all on a text chain. And whenever Andy Dick shows up at their bar, they text it out. Andy Dick is here. He just left. Look out. And it's that bad. They don't want him in their establishments. Right? And so TMZ has been following Andy Dick around because of the stuff that he's been accused of. And now it's magician David Blaine. Right? Robert Knepper, the actor. And I just watched him the other day, and now he's on the list. And Steven Seagal. And this is just a partial list. This is just a partial list. I left another 30, 40 names off of it. Incredible what is going on right now. And once this tips, it seems like it's tipped to you. It hasn't, because if some of these stories that have been floating around Hollywood, with Corey Feldman and Corey Haim and these other, these stories that have been floating around here, if one name tips, it's gonna unravel, and it's gonna unravel quick. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be an interesting and. It's I don't think the LAPD is playing around anymore. The stories about this have been floating around, but nobody wanted to come forward. Nobody wanted to back up anybody. Nobody wanted to say, yes, I was a witness to this. Nobody wanted to do that. And for the obvious reasons, people want to keep their jobs. People want to get hired tomorrow and the week after. So there's been this hush-hush thing here. But if it tips, and one domino falls, it is going to unravel. So just get ready for that. Now, tonight, I want to take your phone calls. We're going to give away all of these UFO books on your UFO stories. What got you here? What was it that you saw? Did you have a close encounter of a third kind? Did you, is it an abduction story? Whatever it is. But what got you here? So, come in, share your stories tonight on the air, and we will send you a really, really cool UFO book. All right? And everything that we have here is A-list, top-shelf stuff. Okay? I'm not going to sit here for 30 minutes and go through the titles, but it's all good. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And it got me thinking. So I've shared everything with you guys. There isn't anything that I haven't shared. I don't think I've forgotten anything. So there's that part of it. But this is what is interesting when it comes to so many out there that they talk about disclosure, but they also talk about proof, right? They want proof. Some go through their whole lives wanting to believe and believing, but never saw anything in the skies. Or anything strange, or a ghost, or any, they just hadn't had that supernatural experience. But I have. And now, have I been abducted? No. Have I communicated directly? No. Have I, do I have I-beams with hieroglyphics on it? No, I don't. I don't have, I don't have any of that. But that's not, I've got my proof. Right, so would I go to my deathbed upset? Would I be upset? I did get my proof. I got it many times. There have been so many days in my life, 30,000 days that I've been on this planet, 30, 40,000, 50,000. Whatever that number is, No, it's not quite that high. What is it? If you live to 70, you're 25,550 days on this planet. So right now, I'm at about 20,000. So I got about 5,000 days left. That's if I make it to 70. That's not that many days, right? But out of all of those days, those 20,000 or so days that I've been here, I have done nothing but look to the sky. I'm looking at the clouds. I'm looking at the sun. I'm watching birds. I do what everybody does. I walk outside, and the first thing you do, you look up in the sky. And you walk out at night. You walk out, and you're going to get in your car, or you're in your front yard. You're walking the dog. What do you do first? You look up in the sky. And when you do, you normally see the stars. You see clouds. You see blue. You see normal. You see an airplane. You see a passenger jet. Maybe you'll see a helicopter, and you're familiar with everything. But when you're out and you look up into the night sky or the day sky, and you look up, and there is something strange up there, some big glowing blue or red ball that goes across and then stops and goes up and zigzags and comes across and then flashes and disappears or goes up into the that right there, that for me is enough. That's enough. You know, the researchers that go through, the authors, you know, that go through their whole lives and don't have that experience or don't equate that as enough. For me, it's enough because I know what it's like when you see a normal sky. When you look up and you see normal stars and something strange goes down, what is that? It's not us. And if it's us with some technology. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, what is it that got you here? I'm okay. I know what got me here. I don't need any more proof. Anything else above what's already happened to myself and Rita, the next step in that, right, the close encounter of the third kind, of the fourth kind, that's the next step, and I'm not so sure I want to go there. But that's my next, step up, and I don't need it. Where I'm at right now, I'm cool, and I want to hear yours, and that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. Let's have some fun with this. Let's get out of here because I got Jon Rappoport coming in with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. This is Fade to Black. It's our big UFO book giveaway on Fadernight. Share your stories, get a UFO book. It's that simple. I'm going to open up the phone lines right after Jon Rappoport. He'll be right here. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger-looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash, they all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots. No more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Good to be here, folks. Wow, this is quite a news week, to say the least. Stories exploding all over the place. The sex abuse scandal. More and more names are being named. Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Louis C.K., the comedian, Roy Moore, Senate candidate, on and on. Mark Halperin, journalist. What's it all about? What's it all about? I think it's about several things. I wrote an article earlier this week in which I said, headline was, Weinstein is Trump next. So there are women, a dozen, 16, whatever. Most of them seem to be lawyered up, ready to go, perhaps, against Trump with various charges of harassment, who knows what, but all on the sexual note. And so one of the things I said in the article was, well, it's very hard to make those accusations obtain any traction if there is no foundation. But foundation can be established in the media several different ways. And one of them is you build the wave high enough by naming other people. And then the Me Too phenomenon comes out, and people begin to appear who say, well, yes, everybody knew, I knew, but we should have said something, but we didn't. And you build that wave higher and higher and higher. And, of course, you include given the media's so-called liberal bias, you include people who are on the political left. You trash them completely on the basis of fact. I'm not saying all this is made up. You keep building it, and then that becomes the foundation by association, okay? And when the press and the PR people and the propagandists feel that they have built the wave high enough, then they place Trump on top of the wave and let it cascade. And then by association, people say, well, you know, we've had all these things come out, and I mean, you know, so many people have been accused, and charges have been filed here and there, and so on, whatever. And so now, if we add Trump, it's credible, it's believable, why not? Sure, etc., etc. So from that angle, you could look at all of this as preparation for the, quote, Trump revelations. Because whether, as I keep saying, I don't care whether you like him, you hate him, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's obvious that there are many forces at work attempting to take Trump down. And so here you have a very viable way potentially of doing that. Understand that these operations can be planned, they can be timed, they can, you know, the firecrackers go off in a certain sequence, and then naturally other things will occur. But it all builds the wave and builds the wave and builds the wave. And then you apply the final touch, which in this case would be Trump. So keep that in mind. However, from another angle, this whole story, this sex abuse scandal, can be seen as having spun completely out of control. In other words, operations can be planned, they can be timed, they can be sequenced, and so forth. But once momentum begins to occur, all sorts of unplanned things can occur in the way of people who are accused and the unexpected accusers. And then it takes on a life of its own. And nobody knows exactly where it's going to go. And I will say this, if the revelations of Corey Feldman gain traction, he's now gone to LAPD, police department, and given statements about people in Hollywood, significant people who he says are part of a wide-ranging pedophile network, including persons who either attempted to or did abuse him personally, but he's talking about something much bigger than that. If that gains traction, either in a police investigation or in media, then all bets are off. All bets are off. Because my reading of that situation is that what we're looking at here in Hollywood is a gigantic scandal. Gigantic number of crimes committed against children of both sexes by Hollywood big shots over a very long period of time. And not just the one or two or three whose names have already been revealed, but many, many more. Many, many more. And that these are, to a significant degree, interconnected. The people are interconnected, who cover for each other, provide protection for each other, support for each other, etc., etc. So if that breaks loose like a gigantic iceberg, then who knows? Who knows what will happen? A huge series of foundational pillars of Hollywood will crack and shatter. That is certain if this story gains traction. That will definitely happen. And you also have to factor in that the movie business has been taking significant hits in the last year or two. A number of high-budgeted movie projects have bombed at the box office. And this eventually goes back and is laid at the feet of major Hollywood executives, big-time stars in some cases, producers who have, made a bet. They've made multi-million-dollar bets on these projects that have utterly failed because of a misreading of the public and what the public wants to see and what they don't want to see and what they're willing to go to the theater to see and not. And so Hollywood is vulnerable at this particular point in time from that aspect alone. And now if you added on this, the, what would you call it? The epidemic of connections, like a pinball machine among various Hollywood pedophiles, with names being named. And then people coming out of the woodwork saying, yes, and I was abused too when I was a child, and I was abused too. We've heard a little bit of that. For example, in the Kevin Spacey story. But that's nothing in terms of sheer volume compared to what could happen if if Hollywood, big Hollywood, and all their connections are unable to contain the story. Unable to contain the story. You can bet your bottom dollar that big Hollywood has significant connections inside LAPD, for example, and in other law enforcement agencies. So it's possible that the story would be contained. We've seen this happen, for example, in England with pedophile networks, which have been partially exposed, but really only the tip of the iceberg, and the story has been squelched and squashed. We could even see if the Corey Feldman fuse is lit and explodes, that major people in media could be exposed as pedophiles. So from this angle, the whole sex abuse scandal story has already spun out of control, and it could go much, much further. Much further. There's so much more that could be said about this, but I'll conclude with this. This is not something, obviously, we're not talking about a decade or 2 decades of secrets. We're talking about from the inception of Hollywood and the movie industry. That's how long the history of all of this goes back, to the beginning. And we're talking about the most serious of sex crimes. So, if this were to unravel way beyond where it's gotten to so far, it would also go back in time. It wouldn't just be confined to the last 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. It would go back and back and back and back. We're going to see some of that, I predict. But the stroke of lightning is the pedophile scandal. That would just illuminate the entire sky and bring down, the entire industry. All right. I want to make a comment on Sibel Edmonds. She has a website recently named Newsbud. I suggest you go there. She was an FBI translator who was hired shortly after 9/11. And her history is well worth reading and researching because she discovered some significant secrets inside the FBI, some of which pertain to prior knowledge and warnings about 9/11. Other material we don't know exactly because several gag orders were placed on that information, and as she was prepared to give testimony, she was fired from the FBI after working there a short time. Other of her secret testimony was made secret before Congress and has still not been revealed. So after she left the FBI, she formed a whistleblower protection group for significant whistleblowers like herself. She has recently stated, and this has to do with Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn, who was, as you may remember, briefly appointed by Trump to be his national security advisor, a highly significant position. Flynn was also the former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, one of the, larger, lesser known, but larger intelligence agencies in the United States. And what Edmonds is now saying is that Flynn, who was fired quickly from Trump's team because supposedly he had been untruthful in speaking with Vice President Mike Pence about a conversation or two conversations he had with a Russian, while he was the head of the DIA, came to a shocking conclusion and discovery, namely that certainly under the Obama administration, and perhaps going back even into the Clinton administration, the U.S. government played a major role in creating jihadi groups who were later named ISIS. That these groups were in fact created obviously means funding, weapons, training, etc., for political purposes to cause chaos in the Middle East. and bring about regime change. And that he was so alarmed by this that he blew the whistle, and that substantially ended his career. He was taken out of that job, and then when he was hired later, much later by Trump, to be National Security Advisor, let us just say circumstances were arranged to get him out of there. And major media campaign to discredit him for other reasons, not specifically because he had determined that the U.S. government was extremely culpable in the creation of what came to be known as ISIS. But that is what is behind a lot of the machinations that have gone on about the Russia-Trump connection, supposedly, the investigation, Robert Mueller, the direction that things have taken. There are rumors or reports that Flynn is the next person after Manafort to be indicted. We'll see. I consider this highly significant because I consider Sibel Edmonds highly significant. Again, her site is NewsBud. This whole area, which she has explored in much greater range than I'm talking about here, deserves extremely close attention. Extremely close attention. And following what happens now to Michael Flynn deserves extremely close attention. I'll conclude with this. I won't be able to cover it completely because there are other people involved, other situations. But the Texas church shooter, named as Devin Kelly, the press has been dealing with this story by pointing out that if law enforcement in the national database were aware that this man had a prior conviction when he was serving in the Army, that he never would have been able to get a gun, and so he wouldn't have been able to shoot up the church. Well, that's such a tired story because in this country, anybody can get a gun. But the point that they're all missing and they refuse to discuss is that prior conviction that occurred before a military court. Kelly was convicted several years ago of beating and kicking and choking his wife a number of times. It was also part of the prosecution's stance that he had pointed a loaded gun at her a number of times, but that charge was taken off the table in a plea agreement. Not only that, but he struck his infant stepson, and this was part of the court proceeding, with such force that he cracked his skull, fractured his skull, infant, with enough force, according to the prosecutors, to kill his infant son. But apparently, the son survived. Fractured skull. Found guilty. The sentence was confinement for a year and demotion in rank. I could talk for another hour or two or three about what has happened to criminal verdicts in this country. Not only in the courtroom itself, but in the structure of the law that prescribes certain sentencing guidelines for certain crimes. It's complete insanity that based upon those charges and an admission from Kelly, for example, that he struck his infant stepson intentionally, he admitted to that he would only get 1 year of confinement. It's total madness. If he had gotten a sentence that was even vaguely congruent with his crimes, he would still be sitting in prison, and he would not have been able to show up at the church with a weapon and do what he did. That's a much bigger story when you take it out into other cases, which I have. But I'll leave you with that for the moment, and that's my report for tonight.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And about the, John, check this out. The background check system that goes on here in the United States, what most people don't understand, what they think, what they assume is that all computers are interconnected and through the prison system, the court system, federal, state, and everybody is sharing the same information, right? When they do a background check on you, you know what they check on? You know what they literally check on? Your zip code. That's what they do. So your zip code, they check the courts in your zip code, right? And if you're clean, you're clean. To do a statewide, state level, not federal, statewide federal court check, they would have to go and check every zip code in the state and request the court records for you. And it's a horribly expensive process to do that state across the United States. Start to do the math, right? And that doesn't even include the feds and how they communicate. Most people don't understand that when they go and do a background check on you, or they're looking into your zip code. So if you've moved and you submit that zip code, right, and maybe you had
your past is your age
is gone, for the most part. Now, if somebody wants to spend, tens of thousands of dollars on a background check and have a private investigator go and contact every single zip code in the state and every judicial system throughout the state, yeah, okay, it can be done. And it would take a long time. This isn't some overnight thing. So when it comes to background checks for guns, everything can slip between the cracks, And what happened to him, that's just the system. I wasn't surprised at all. I was not. And of all things, the Air Force, they got lazy. Well, okay, even if they would have submitted, it probably wouldn't have been picked up. It depends on how the check is done. And most people don't realize that. They don't. And you're right. You can get a gun anywhere. Let's go to a gun.
Plus the fact, as I said, how this military court ever came to this insane sentencing, the guy should still be in prison for sure, and then he never would have gotten near that church.
Yeah. 12 months. It's like a misdemeanor. You know, I mean,
exactly, it is.
So there you go. John, again, always enlightening, man. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. And we'll see you next Thursday right here on the show. All the best, John.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. Have a great night. Jon Rappoport, start off your day the way that I do at nomorefakenews.com. All right, let's get this party started. It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. It's open lines. It's the big UFO book giveaway. So, bring me your story. What got you here? What's your close encounter? Was it in the sky? Was it something more dramatic? Communicate. What is it? I want you to share it with me and our audience, and we'll send you a book. Opening up the phone lines now. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
And you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly Ancient Life Oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind. Life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go back, Lee Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, it is Fadernight. Now, open lines all night long. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. This is our big UFO book giveaway. I want to hear your story. What got you here? What is your UFO encounter? Share that story with our audience, and we'll send you a book. It doesn't get any more simpler than that. Phone lines are jammed. Let's kick it off here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night.
I know. It's great, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Favorite night.
So what got you here, Cindy?
Well, I said a little bit of the story a couple of weeks ago, but I'll start from the beginning. When I was 8 years old, now I'm someone who's never sleepwalked before that or since then. I woke up outside on my neighbor's porch at about 2:00 in the morning. And I've been looking down, and I saw something. It looked to me like, remember those S&H green stamp things your mom used to get at the store?
Absolutely.
There's pages of them.
Yep.
Well, it looked like there was a page of them in front of me. I went down to pick them up, and they dissipated. Kind of like light dissipates, when you turn a light off and you still see it.
Sure.
And okay, so I go back and go in the house, and of course my mom freaks out because that's when she wakes up, when I go back in the house, but not when I left the house. So at that point in time, I was scared I can see this picture of a woman. I was scared to death to get up and go to the bathroom. That's when I started peeing in the bed again at 8 years old. But I have a memory of, like a snapshot memory of this skinny person in the window that I was so scared to get out of bed because that person was going to get me. And somehow I knew it was a female, but there's no way, not in my picture, that you could tell she's a female, but I knew the lady in that window was going to come get me if I got out of bed. So years and years later, I'm getting a reading by the psychic, and she's telling me about all these people in my life, and she was dead on about all of them. And then my grandmother, who died when I was 5 days old, kept interrupting. She wanted me to remember something that happened when I was 8 years old. And she interrupted 3 times. And up to that point, I hadn't been interested in UFOs. And the girl said, well, finally, 3rd time, she said, she wants you to remember the ET event. And talk about getting your mind blown when somebody tells you that.
Right.
And having no experience, or didn't think I had. But for years, I kept getting teased about looking for stamps out in the middle of the night, because that's what I told my mom when I came back in the store.
Sure.
And because that helped me remember, I'm like, I might have been looking, this is the only thing that I could come up with. And I've had a psychic tell me that something did happen that night to me, and it was ET related. But anyway, that's what got me interested in it all. And then I started listening to Art Bell, and then Art Bell went off the air. This was the 2nd time he came back, and lo and behold, Jimmy Church showed up, and I started listening to you guys. And anyway, that's what really got me intrigued with starting to listen up about what's going on.
That'll do it, Cindy. And thank you for sharing that with us. And, there's, the audience right now is going, yep, happened to me too. And S&H green stamps, man, that's that goes back, brings back some memories, doesn't it? But
a long time ago.
Well, you got yourself a book. So this is very simple. Just go over to the website, go to the contact page, send Rita. I've got your name right here and your phone number. So just write Rita an email with your address, and we'll get it out to you tomorrow.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks, Rita.
And thank you so much, Cindy. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for sharing that with us. What a way to kick it off. Okay, so again, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. If you've already gotten through, good for you. And if you're on hold, stay right there. The phone lines are jammed. Stay on it. We've got plenty of books and plenty of time. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live right now.
Oh, hi, it's Debbie from Sacramento. I thought
Debbie.
I heard something else on the line. Hi. Well, I have one memory of a UFO encounter, and then I have 2 what I think are suppressed memories. And I know we don't have a lot of time, so do you want me to talk about the actual memory?
No, what got you here? What was the event that got you here?
Well, the event that got me here was I was interested because at 15 years old, I saw a UFO. I was laying in bed on a Saturday morning, and outside my window, here comes this thing floating by. And again, when you describe these, people think you're crazy. It looked like a giant Q-tip, and each end was blinking.
Really?
And it was gray. And so each end was blinking really big light, and I'd never say anything like it. So I dashed out of bed, got a camera, went chasing after it. It was gone too quickly. told my sister, and she goes, well, let's call KLIV, because at the time it was San Jose. So we called the radio station. They go, yeah, we just got reports. We're calling Mount Hamilton, and they're tracking it. People are calling in. They've seen it. And then they weren't able to verify what it was. So that was very exciting. So since that time, I've always been interested in UFOs.
A flying Q-tip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Skinny all the way down the middle, and each end looked like a Q-tip swab. I know.
That'll get you into the game, won't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
yeah, go ahead, Deb.
Sorry,
go ahead, Deb.
So, and just like Cindy, 8 years old, wake up out in the middle of the street outside my house. I've never sleptwalked in my life. And a couple of weeks ago, when I think Shar was on, that's why I asked her about, suppressed memories and was I suppressing anything, because she had also talked about waking up. I'm like, oh my God, that did happen to me too. And I asked my mom after that, and I said, have I ever sleptwalked as a child? She goes, no, never. But
right.
She remembers that night when I woke up outside, and she had to let me in. The door was locked. And I came back, I was half asleep, but I was at the neighbor's door ringing the doorbell 2:30 in the morning looking for my mom, and I don't know how I got outside. I was also about 8 or 9 years old. And they thought it was just trauma because my grandma had just died. So they said, oh, it's just childhood trauma when we went back to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so chalk it up to childhood trauma. Okay, but the next day I thought I dreamt the whole thing. And then when I looked, on my carpet in my room, the grass had just been cut the night before, and I had mud and grass clippings all over my feet, all over the rug. So it really had happened. And I have no idea how I got out of the house.
Chalk it up to childhood trauma. There.
Sure.
Hey, Deb.
The thing that drove me to your channel was listening. I was following David Wilcock and Stephen Greer, and they were both talking on different nights, and that's how I found you.
Oh, that's how you found us?
Yep.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Deb. Now, shoot Rita an email. Give us your address. We'll get that book out to you tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Deb. Behave.
Thanks. Have a good weekend. I'll try.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, let's stay on the phones. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, Jimmy. I'm doing good. How are you?
It's Thursday night, Jenny. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night.
Obviously.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's all good. I got my River Moon coffee. I got you on the phone about to tell me a good UFO story. It don't get no better than that. That.
Well, no, I guess not. I hope not.
I mean, don't you want to be me? Don't you want right now, Jenny? Don't you want to be me?
I really do, especially for the coffee.
Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, I'm in an underground bunker, surrounded by guitars, the Fadernauts, coffee, really good supplements, Twitter, email, the chat rooms, this audience, and we're just sitting around talking UFOs. Somebody,
you're right. It doesn't get much better.
No, somebody pinch me. All right.
There you go.
All right. So what got you here, Jenny?
Well, about 3.5 years ago, I had an experience. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'd been working in the yard all day. It was late June. And I had just got my daughter one of the big, like the 18-foot around above-ground pool type things, 5 feet deep. And I said, hey, come, it's 10 o'clock. Come out. I'm done. Come get in the pool with me. Well, she didn't. She was on the phone, whatever. So I got in the pool. So I'm lying on my back looking at the stars, and it's a beautiful, clear night. And as I always do, when I look at the stars, I think, oh, my gosh, I wish I could see something. Wish I could see a UFO. So I'm lying there.
Be careful what you wish for, Jenny.
Exactly. And don't always look up is what I learned. Because I stood up. I had a float that I was hanging on to, and I was going to lay on my stomach. And as I stood up, directly across from me, about 100 yards, was this huge red, about 25 to 30 feet in diameter orb, plasma-like, in my yard, floating through the trees, along the tree line, but in between the trees, no possible way it could happen, and behind the house. And, of course, I said, what the is that? out loud.
Right.
Nobody's there around me. And so as it goes behind the house, I start to swim run to the other side of the pool so I could hurry and make it to see if it comes out the other side. And it did. And it goes through the woods. It's about 3 to 5 miles per hour. Very slow, very big.
Wow.
But not mechanical, not of this world. And so it goes on up, and I live near a cemetery, and it goes up the hill towards the cemetery and turns right and cuts across the cemetery on the little drive through the cemetery. But now it's something mechanical. It is not the red orb. It has white and red lights on the bottom, small. Almost looks like a car light, but it wasn't a car. They locked the cemetery gates at dusk, so it was not that. But I could see nothing but the lights. I could see no metallic shape, nothing. But it did turn into something like that. It goes all the way across the cemetery and then turns again and cuts across the highway and heads west towards Oak Ridge in that direction. So it was life-changing, and that's pretty much what brought me to where I am today.
You know, you sound crazy right now, right? You know
I do.
Right.
I do.
And did you share this with friends, family? Did anybody else see it, by the way?
No. The neighbors had just come home, and they had just gone in their house, because when I first saw it, I turned to look across the street and yell at them, "Do you see this?" And they're not home. Or they're inside. They've already gone in.
Wow.
But I did share it with my daughter, and she was about 13 at the time. She said, "You've got to report this." And I said, "There's no way."
You know what's great
You know
what's great about this, Jenny? You got to see it as an adult. You know, and
I did.
And thank you for sharing that. That is an incredible sighting. And so just shoot, we'll get your book off to you tomorrow. Shoot, read an email, Jenny, and give us your address, and we'll take care of it right away.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jenny. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
That's what I'm talking about, and we're going to be doing this all night long. This is our big UFO book giveaway Thursday night, Fadernight. Phone lines are open, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Now, look, if it's locked up on the 825 number, just call 323-275-9695. That's all you got to do. Okay? And we're going to get your... this is what I want before I go back to the phone. Stay right there, everybody. I want what got you here. What was that UFO moment? Share the story with me and our audience, and we will get you a book, a UFO book. And I got the collection. Trust me. All right. With that, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
All right, this is Tim. How you doing, Jimmy?
How you doing, Tim? I'm doing. You know how I'm doing, Tim. How are you doing? That's the question.
All right, man. Calling all the way from Augusta, all the way in the southeast.
Augusta, Georgia.
That's right. Home of the Masters.
Home of the Masters, man. Do you ever go?
Live probably about maybe a good throwing rock distance from the front gate, actually.
And you're a member. Oh, that's what you want to let us know. You're a member.
No, I wish I was a member. I do get to go quite often, though. I rent my home out every year to it.
Man, there is probably none finer, right? Bobby Jones, right? That's
right.
Man, I know way too much about golf, but welcome to the show, Tim. And what got you here?
Well, I would say it was probably back when I was a teenager, man. I used to get all into the conspiracy theory hype with the human implants and the chips and all that stuff.
Right.
And I used to live in Art Bell.
Right.
And somehow I just came across Fade to Black, and I love it, man.
And so you're not chipped, are you?
No.
You're not chipped?
No.
But
I've been a firm believer of it, man, ever since I would probably say 20 years or better, that it's been ongoing, or if it ain't been ongoing, it will be ongoing.
Yeah. Well, what have you seen strange in the sky? What's your UFO story?
I would probably have to say it was coming back from Barnwell, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen lights and things like that in the sky. That's always made me wonder what it was or what it could be. But I've never had any encounter, I'd say, firsthand.
And when you see something like that, because this is the thing, us guys, we know airplanes, helicopters, balloon, that's what we do. That's what we're fascinated with when we're kids. And we pretty much know our planes and our helicopters. And when you see something in the sky that isn't that and you can't identify it, how does that make you feel?
Oh, man, that's kind of mind-blowing, actually, wondering what all it could be. I live probably about maybe a good 4 or 5 miles from the main NSA building that they built. They built it out here on post.
Right.
And we always see drones. We always see planes, helicopters, like you said.
Right.
But some of the things that we see out here, there's no explanation for it other than something else.
So you believe?
Oh, yeah, I believe, without a doubt.
Right on, Tim. This is what I want you to do. Send us an email. Just go to the website, go to the contact page, send Rita an email. I've got your name and number right here. Send us your address. We'll send you out a book.
All right, good deal.
Thank you so much, Tim. Have a great night.
You do the same, Jim.
Thank you, Tim. Tim from Augusta, Georgia. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Whoa. Okay, who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live, man, but you got to cut out the noise.
Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at work. I'm walking outside. This is Dustin from Texas. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you, Dustin.
Okay. Well, here's my story. When I was about 27 years old, like the day of, it was either my birthday or the day after, I woke up and I felt, I felt different. I felt, not that I was older or anything, but I felt like I knew there was something more. There was something missing in my life, something that, was over that I didn't know. So I started reading, books, not UFO books per se, but just, conspiracy theories, watching videos, listening to radio shows, all that stuff, which then, like the last caller, brought me to Art Bell and all that type of stuff. Well, a lot of stuff that I was listening to made a lot of sense to me about the UFOs and the lights in the sky. And that brought me to Dr. Stephen Greer, his CE5 protocol. Well, I was always bit into meditation and stuff like that. And the power of the mind is a crazy thing. So I started doing his CE5 protocols, and it changed my life. I actually have these pictures. One day I got off work about 12 o'clock, went outside. I was doing my meditation like I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
I always work the night shift, though.
Right.
So I worked outside, did my meditation. I looked up. I see 4 lights. 3 of them were of a triangle, and there was 1 light next to the triangle. They started moving in weird directions. I ran inside, got my wife, woke her up, told her to come look at this. She saw it. She said, "Oh, you're crazy. That's nothing." Well, I knew it was something. And after that, man, my life has been changed for the better, I think.
And the CE5 is pretty cool. And I believe that there is something to it. And I'll tell you something else. This is my take, and I've done a lot of night watching and a lot of this. And Rita and I both agree. They don't like quiet meditation, or they don't like intent. You know what they like? They like good vibes. You know, you have to be you have to be a good person. You have to be cool. If you're funny, if you're cracking jokes, and you're out there and you're saying, you know, you know what I mean? You're projecting a good spirit. Guaranteed, something's going to happen. You know, you don't want to have everybody out there, you know, quiet. You know, shh, shh, shh. You know, that's not the vibe that they want. They want something happy, and I'm so glad that works for you, Dustin. And thank you for sharing that.
Well, I had another question about the CE5 protocol. If I was doing it right or not. One night I was doing it. I came inside. I heard, you know, like tap, 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 tap on my window. I go, what the? And then, you know, I just shook it off. I laid in bed at exactly 4 o'clock in the morning. My phone kicks onto a paranormal talk radio station. I was so freaked out. I didn't even want to listen to what it was saying. I just read over there and turned my phone off. I was afraid I might be doing it wrong and be getting in contact with something that I don't want to be getting in contact with.
And you know what, Dustin? That is what is so cool. I mean, seriously, right on, my brother. Just thank you so much, and thank you for sharing that with us. And you know what to do. Just go over to the contact page. I've got your name and number right here. Just shoot us your email right there in the your address, and we'll shoot you out a book, my man. Thank you so much.
All right, Jimmy, have a good night.
You too. Go back to work.
Oh, bye.
All right, bye. You know, how many people listen to Fade to Black at work? You know what? That's a question. I'll get back to the calls here in a second. I want to know, how many of you listen to Fade to Black at work? Whether it's on the podcast, you know, a replay, or you're back at the website, you're listening to the night before, or you're at iHeartRadio, or, you know, one of the archives, or you're working nights, or maybe you're somewhere else in the world, right? Or you're in Australia right now and you're listening to us while you're at work. Maybe you work early mornings over in Great Britain, in the UK, or over in Europe, and you're listening to us at work. Maybe you're in India. I don't know. Tokyo, Taiwan, Hong Kong. How many of you listen to me at work? And does your boss know? And if he did or she find out, would they care? Or are your bosses fans of the show? Or are they coming by and checking in on you? How many of you, I know that a big chunk of this audience listens to the show while they're at work. All right, it's our big book giveaway. I've got to head to a break right here. So everybody that's on hold, stay right there. I'll get to your calls next. This is Fade to Black. Now, all you got to do, call in. Give me the UFO encounter, your story that got you here, that changed your life. Share that with our audience, and I'll share a free book with you. It's our big UFO book giveaway. Thursday night, Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More of your phone calls are next. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black, Thursday night Fadernight. Man, I love Fadernight, sitting in the chair, hanging out with all of you. Now, what we're doing tonight, this is our big UFO book giveaway. I want you to share with our audience the UFO encounter that got you here. And you share that with the audience, I'll share a book with you. It's really that simple. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Good luck getting through. But call often. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? No, you're not. I've got the other line. Hi, you're live.
Hello.
Yes, you're live right now. Yes.
Jimmy Church?
Yes.
Hey, Al Spence here from Florida.
Al,
Inverness.
how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good, my man. Hey, the craziest thing, this is like 70, I'm going to say 73. My uncle was back from Vietnam. That's how I know it so well. We went bass fishing. It was out at about 5:45, just before daybreak. And we were the only ones on the boat ramp. We pulled the boat down. We got out, unstrapped it and everything, getting ready to back it up. My uncle was hitting his coffee. And we looked out over Clearport Reservoir, and it's a good body of water now. It's not Lake Erie, but it's a good size.
Right.
And, brother, it was 35, maybe, David's better at it. He said it was about 45 to 50 foot in diameter. It was a classic disc, man. I mean, the flat aluminum color. It had the dome on top. It had a real bright light on the bottom. I mean, and it was spewing a caramel-colored smoke like something. It was spewing. It looked to me, David said it looked to him like they was getting fresh water and flushing out their tanks. Now, wow. I don't know. I don't know. I guess they go too. But I'm picturing like when an RV does its dump illegally on the side of the road. Yes. That's what you're saying. Yes.
Right.
And it was maybe 10, 15 feet over the water.
Right.
A Huey mist fog still laying heavy on the water. It was like July, kind of warm still. And there was, by the time this happened, 15 minutes or so, David Cade Spence, he's a retired first sergeant major, very honorable man, 2.5 tours of Nam and everything.
Right.
He looked at me and said, "Al, baby, do you see?" And when I turned around and looked at him, he had the whitest look on his face and was frozen in mid-turn, pulling a strap off the boat, and said, "Ow, ow, ow," and stuttering. And don't stutter, man. I mean, he clicks, he booms. And he said, "Al, baby, get in the truck." And we turned to leave, and by this time, there was 2 other guys up there, a guy getting ready to back a boat waiting on us, and all the 5 or 6 just standing there with their jaws hanging open, looking. And this thing must have been there, I bet you, close to 20 minutes. It went straight up about a football field, and it shot off at a right angle. I mean, straight, like 45 degrees, and went straight out.
Wow, that's incredible.
It was the damnest thing I ever seen.
Yeah,
I get goosebumps telling you, man.
Yeah, Al, that's a great sighting. And I just got a couple of. I've got so many calls on hold. But did you hear anything?
Not a noise.
Nothing. Noise. Oh man, what a great sighting! What a great sighting! And of course,
the noise around us. It was just unbelievable. And the other guys. And what was weird, before we could turn around and go back up and start asking the other guys, "Did you see it? Did you?" 2 of them slammed their doors and pulled out of the boat lock.
They did.
and don't you know, I'm 47 now, and I've never seen another one outside of probably satellites in the air and stuff like that. And I look, Jimmy Church, I mean, daylight, nighttime. My wife's heard this 100 times, man, and it was mind blowing. It was truly the classic disc. I mean,
oh man, I'm fully jealous. Hey Al, thank you for sharing that with us, my friend. And you know what to do. Just go over to the website, shoot Rita your address, and we'll get you a book off tomorrow. Thank you so much, Al.
Man, looking forward to seeing it. Thanks a lot, Jimmy Church. You take care, sir.
You too. Be safe.
Bye bye.
What a
all right, brother. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. What a great that's the classic sighting right there. He said there was a dome on top and everything. All right, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'm going to get to everybody. All right, this is our big UFO book giveaway Thursday night on Fadernight. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Hey, how you doing, man? This is Mickey out of El Paso.
Hey, Mickey out of El Paso. How are you?
Cool, dude. Cool. I just wanted to call in and tell you my story from when I was 17, growing up in Montana. Me and my buddy were on a double date. And so we were driving around, trying to see what happened and how the night would play out. And we were over by a river. And it was a good-sized river, probably about 10:30 at night. And we look out, and there's other cars stopped in the middle of the road. So we stop, and above the river is this gigantic thing, and you can't tell its shape because there's kind of a fog bank that rolled over on the river. And there's flashing lights all around it. And everybody's just staring at this. The girls we were with started crying and freaking out. It was nuts, and then it just kind of dissipated, and none of us knew what we saw.
How big was it?
There's no telling. You could barely make out a shape from the lights that were kind of flashing in sequence.
Right.
And it was just moving slow, no noise, no nothing. And it's probably about 10 feet off of the water, I'd say.
There you go. See, and I know that you're listening to everybody that's called in tonight. Isn't it awesome? And to say that there's no evidence you know what? They're calling all of us crazy. You're not crazy, are you, Mickey?
Right. No, it was cool, no idea. No idea, man. Just blew my mind.
How long
did when you see the panic in the girl's face that you're with and she's crying because she's scared because they don't know what's going on, it tells you something's up,
Yeah, exactly. Mickey, thank you for sharing that with us. And you know what to do. Go over to our website. I've got your name and number right here. Shoot Rita your address, and we'll get a book off to you tomorrow.
You got it, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Mickey. Great story right there. And see, this is, and I really mean this. out of everybody that's called in so far, and thank you, thank you. The numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. These are, it's eyewitness stuff. This is amazing. And I want to hear exactly what got you here. What's your UFO encounter story? 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live right now. Turn me down in the background.
Yeah, hey, all right, sorry about that. I was just calling about my story. It's not spectacular, but I'm 73 now, and back around 96, 97, my dad lived in Mariposa, California, and I went out there to take care of him because he was ill.
Right. Oh, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Dave.
All right, Dave. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, it was March or April. It was getting kind of warm up there, and it's in the foothills going up to Yosemite. And we were out in his front yard, and we were just talking. It was nice visiting with him. And so we're standing out there, and of course it's really dark. There's not a lot of lights. And all of a sudden, my dad goes, "What the hell is that?" And I'm looking at him, and he's looking up in the air. And we looked up, and it wasn't much bigger than a bright star. And I thought, well, that's just a satellite. I was about ready to say that until it made a 90-degree turn. And then it made a 45-degree turn and another 45. And then it just I don't know, 20 seconds later, just sped off and was gone. So, I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but, I mean, I finally got to see something that didn't look like an airplane,
Right.
And it didn't act like a satellite. I mean, it was cool. And the fact that it was, my dad passed away about 3 months later, but it was just neat. It was just neat to be out there with him and seeing that, and I'll remember that. That was just so cool.
Well, we had Bryce Zabel on, the other night, and he's written some great movies and great books about UFOs and, CNN and NBC and PBS, correspondent, reporter, award-winning guy, and he really believes in disclosure and all of that stuff. He's never seen anything.
I heard that show.
He's never seen anything. But you have,
Yeah, saw one. That was enough for me. I mean, of course, I'd love to see the big disc come in and go by, but that never happened. Used to go down to New Mexico a lot because my territory. I was in sales. Took me down to Santa Fe and down Taos and a lot. And, it's supposed to be a lot down there, but never saw one. But here, I'm out in the front yard with my dad. And
there you go.
There it is.
And you shared it with your dad, and he passed away 3 months later. So you know what? It doesn't get any better than that, Dave.
Nah, it was cool. It was very cool.
Thank you for sharing. Go over to the website, go to the contact page, send Rita your address. We'll get you off a book tomorrow. Thank you so much, Dave.
Hey, appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. Great call right there. And thank you to everybody that's called in so far. This is our big UFO book giveaway on Fade to Black. Just share your story with our audience, and we'll share a book with you. And I've got a great UFO book collection here, and some of these are autographed. Most of them are, actually. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
This is Thomas Richards, Scott Richards' father from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You've got to be kidding me. He's
wouldn't lie.
he's probably listening.
Oh yeah.
So
he just texted me. He says, "Are you on hold?"
It's tough to get through on these phone lines, man. But you are here. So it's Thomas.
Right.
Okay, Thomas. Now, you've got a pretty good son with a lot of talent, but you already knew that.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd tell you about our story. It would be about between 1957 and 1960. Just a little north of Indianapolis, my wife and I were driving to Indianapolis, and it was late at night. bright lights, just the sky was lighted up. All of a sudden, my car just died.
What?
Just stopped.
What?
The engine quit running.
Well, you know that happens. That happens by Guy's Reservoir. You know that, don't you?
Well, that's about the area I was in. I just a little north of that.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, Thomas. But aren't you impressed that I know about Guy's Reservoir? You should be pretty impressed.
I know all about you.
Okay.
You've been in Indiana, Indianapolis. I know that.
Okay, all right, Thomas. So what happened next, though? What happened next?
Well, I pulled over, tried to start the car, and it just couldn't. We were scared to death. Neither one of us wanted to get outside to see what was going on because at that time there were sightings of UFOs or whatever, and so we didn't get out. And then we waited. I suppose it was 5-10 minutes. I tried to start again. Engine started up, and we still looked up in the sky, and way up in the sky. I mean, like stars. We seen things dancing around up there. It wasn't a normal star. It was several of them like just dancing around in the sky. And that was our story.
Wow. Wow. And now, how do you guys, how do you two talk about it today? Do you guys, remember that time? Do you still talk about it?
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like I'm convinced, but are you convinced it was connected?
All I know is what I just told you, what happened.
I know, right? Now, let me ask you this, Thomas, before I let you go. So every time you're watching, and you see it all the time, I know you do, you're watching a movie about aliens or, there's something, and, the bright light in the sky and the car dies, and you just laugh. You're like, well, yeah, that's what happened to me.
Well, I guess I haven't heard of that before. That was one of my questions I have. Have you ever heard of that happening to people?
That happens all the time. So wait a minute, Thomas. So you don't know this is like a method of operation here. This is the way it goes down.
Well, another thing, Scott's got me interested in some of these things. He sent me books and talked about Bigfoot, and maybe these objects, Bigfoot or whatever they are from outer space or whatever. Well, we were driving up in the thumb of Michigan when Scott was just young. He was just a young kid. And a friend of mine and his sons and Scott and my two sons were going up that way. And out in the middle of nowhere, we thought we'd go look for deer as we was driving up. We was going up to hunt mushrooms, to tell you the truth.
Right.
And all of a sudden, in this dark, it was pitch black, nobody around, no houses, nothing around. And here was a giant, 10-foot, 11-foot, 12-foot, hairy monster walking along the side of the road.
Did Scott see it?
Oh, did he see it? They all saw it. He was scared to death.
Right. Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And
we were so scared. We didn't even want to go back and look at it.
No, of course not. He was 10 foot tall. Yeah. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, well, or taller. Yeah, it was big.
Thomas, this is incredible. Two really, really, really good encounters. I wanted to ask you before I let you go. Back with you and your wife, did you notice any missing time that night?
I don't. No, I can't say that we did.
Right. That's usually yeah. You should maybe go back and talk to your wife about it. What I mean is, you saw this at maybe midnight, right? You're up in Castleton,
it was late. Yeah,
right. Yeah. And then the next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. when you're pulling into the house or whatever, and you're like, wait a minute, where did the last 3 hours go?
I don't recall that.
Yeah, well, maybe you don't want to find out either. So, Thomas, have a great night, and I'm sure Scott's going to call in here later on, and I'll talk to him, and there you go. Thank you so much, my friend. You have a great son.
When he calls in, send him the book.
Okay, I will do that, Thomas. You have a great night.
Take care.
All right, I'll send you a T-shirt. Send me your address. I'll get your address from your son. I'll send you. What size are you?
Large.
Large. I'll send you a shirt. Thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye now.
Talk to you. What a great phone call, Scott. That answers a lot of questions right there, doesn't it? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that phone bank is locked up. Uh-oh. Okay. 323-275. For everybody that's watching me right now on the bunker cam, I've got a dead phone system. It just completely died. All right, let's see if I can refire it up. No, I can't. Okay, for now, 323-275-9695. We're going to use that until I get this reset. It will not reset. How did that happen? No, come on. Are you being for real? Yeah, it's dead. 323-275-9695. And the only way that I can kick off this software, apparently, is, okay, I am going to do this. And I really don't want to do this, but I have to. I'm going to, yeah, okay. There you go. Okay, 323-275-9695. That's the numbers we're going to be using for the next few minutes. 323-275-9695. What got you here? That's what I want to know. What is the story? We're giving away books all night long. So you share your UFO encounter story with our audience, and I'll share a book with you. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hey, Jimmy, what's cracking?
Who's this?
Brandon here.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. Just tried to call in as your phone went down.
Yeah.
I got lucky. So here's my story. I was up in, I live in Michigan. I actually live maybe 2 miles away from that lady you had on the show 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
By Detroit, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, I'm up by Mackinac Island. And my wife got these binoculars just to see why really cheap ones. I'm sitting on the balcony at night, just looking at the see how well I can see them. I decided to look up in the sky and see these stars. You know what a blazar is?
Mm-hmm.
Where the sun is like a dying sun. It's spinning like a disco ball, right?
Right.
And it's shooting off like a spotlight. And you see it. I'm seeing this thing go around, and these lights coming off of it, and I'm thinking that's what it is. And it's a group, a cluster, about 3 or 4 or 5 stars there. And it's going towards one star, and I see 2 other do the same thing going back to it. I said, that's not a blazar. Star Wars, isn't it?
So what happened?
Well, I'm just saying, that's what I saw. It's up in the sky looking like, I thought it was just stars up there. And what I'm seeing is, it looks like they're having a war, like Star Wars, right?
Right.
Like that's, you see what I'm saying?
Did now let me ask, when you say were you seeing lasers? Were you seeing did you see something get shot?
It looked, what I saw once I realized what it was, looked like Death Stars shooting at each other. You know what I'm saying? From like Star Wars, something like that.
Right. How long did it last?
No, it was a while. I showed my wife; she saw it. I could see it with just some cheap binoculars.
Wow. How many were there?
Well, like I said, it looked like a cluster of stars, about at least 5.
Incredible. Now, could it have been satellites, maybe, satellites out there, us shooting at Russian satellites. Do you think it could have been something like that? Or was it closer to you than what a satellite would be?
It looked like stars in the sky.
Yeah. That's incredible. I've heard this type of this kind of encounter many, many, many times. I've never seen it myself, but I certainly would love to see it.
Well, what it looked like, I used to be out in Twin Palms, and one day I'm driving, and I saw what looks, in the morning, looked like a star moving around. And then it was one of the things that what you saw at Joshua Tree. Okay, it looked like a star, then it stopped, started doing zigzags, and then it flew off. It looked like that. It looked like a star.
Right. Wow, incredible. Well, what I want you to do, Brandon, just shoot us an email over at on our contact page. Send it over to Rita. Send us your address, and we'll get you a book off tomorrow.
Good, man. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Have a great night. Great phone call right there from Mackinac Island up in Michigan. Great area. Spent a lot of time up there. Now, I've got to, I'm going to take a break right here. I've got some issues. Here I'm trying to work out on my main computer, but you know what? I'm not sweating the small stuff. Tonight is Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Now, what we're doing all night long, it's our big UFO book giveaway. So share your UFO encounter story with us, and we'll share a book with you. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Right now, use the 323-275-9695 number because I need to reset the other system here during the break. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. It's Fader Night. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com. Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness, Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit Capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go back, Lee Tappy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go back, Lee Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. It's our big UFO book giveaway night. Share your UFO encounter story with us. We'll share a book with you. And now, just to use 323-275-9695, I'm trying to reset a computer here that has decided to go down in the middle of the show. Don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try to reset it and also take phone calls at the same time. So let's do that. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
This is John from Kentucky.
Hey, John from Kentucky. How are you?
I'm doing great.
So what's your story, man? What's your UFO encounter?
Okay, it was back in 1973. I was about 13, and it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. The house shook, and my dad got up out of bed. He was a real deep sleeper, and we see a bright light outside, so we both walked out the front door, and we sit on the front porch. We watched all these lights in the sky for probably 15 minutes, and the next morning, in the next town over, this woman was driving home, and something came down the road in front of her and blew all the glass inside of her car. And just different stories like that. It was on local radio and local paper. And now I can't find anything about it because it's been so long. But that really got my interest in this, and eventually joined MUFON and did a lot of investigations here in Kentucky.
Right. And so has MUFON helped you?
It did for a while. I got out about 2 years ago. I was state section director, and I like the boots on the ground investigation more than the phone calls and all this. I like getting out and talking to people and seeing where it happened and all that. And it's too much paperwork, I think, that I didn't feel like was necessary. So I kind of do it on my own now.
Right. How long were you a state section director in Kentucky?
I was about 4 years.
How long?
And I was in about 4 years.
Are you saying 40 or 4?
4.
Oh, okay. I was 4 years. 40 years. Yeah. That's before MUFON started. So
yeah, that was just about 4 years.
And have you started a new group?
No, I make some contacts on Facebook and a little word of mouth from people I've talked to in the past. They'll hear something and send somebody my way. And there's a whole lot of cases that I felt like, we could have followed up on more, but they wanted to, move on to the next one. And
there's just a lot of really amazing cases happened around here, especially around the Bluegrass Army Depot.
Right.
And, so there's just, like I said, cases that I looked at years ago, and people are still seeing things, and, they still haven't got their whole story out. And so I've been contacting those people over and over and, digging deep on them. So.
Wow. Incredible, John. And Kentucky is pretty crazy place for sightings. I mean, you have mountains, you have lots of forests, woods, you have remote areas, and you have, big cities too as well. It happens all over the state, doesn't it?
Yes. Around like the Danes Boone National Park, there's a lot of sightings up there, Bigfoot and everything up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Have you thought about starting a group that did both, Bigfoot and UFO? MUFON only does UFOs, right? But they don't do anything paranormal or supernatural.
Yeah. There was a guy that left MUFON several years ago, and he started a paranormal group, and they did everything. And he spent a lot of time in Franklin around the Octagon Hall. And we spent the night down there some, and, you have UFOs, people claim to see Bigfoot, shadow people, and everything down there. But he's gone back to MUFON. He's now the state section director, or the state director. So
right.
He's kind of let everything else go to the side for now. So
what do you think about Fade to Black?
Oh, I love it. I have it on every night. And then a lot of times during the day, I'll go back and, listen to some of the replays and, even just listen to an episode over again. You pick up so much you missed the first time.
Yeah, thank you so much, John. Now, you know what to do. Head over to our website, send Rita your address, and we'll send you up a book tomorrow. Thank you so much, John, for sharing that with us.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you. Have a great night. Former Kentucky State Director right there. Now, 323-275-9695. That's the number to use. Now, everybody that is watching me right now on the bunker cam, you can see what I'm trying to do here. I have reset passwords. I've done all of this while talking to everybody on the air. Reset passwords, and my computer system is down. Or at least my main one. It's weird, too, because now I'm looking, I can see color in my face because these two big monitors aren't blasting me. Strange. It just locked up in the middle of the show. Man, maybe I got hacked. Well, we'll find out. But you know what? We'll get through all of this together. 323-275-9695. I don't have email. I don't have anything right now. I don't have Twitter. I ain't got nothing. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. Alex from Cincinnati.
Hey, Alex from Cincinnati.
Yeah, having trouble listening to your show, too, but glad I got through.
There you go.
My experience is a little different than the other ones that have been reported here. I have had some sightings, but my most significant experience, I didn't actually remember at the time. I was out in the driveway, just looking at the stars. I came back in a little later, feeling a little euphoric. But what cued me into what happened was my wife came out to look for me. She walked around the house and couldn't find me for like a half an hour. So a half an hour at least of missing time here. So what kind of brought it around to me, after she explained the missing time, I kind of got these cues through dreams and through other, I guess, more telepathic encounters. So I basically kind of came to realize that it was a positive encounter, and that basically I have like a Pleiadian connection, and have gradually come to realize my mission, and that I come from this Pleiadian collective, and that part of my mission here is to help bring others online, to awaken others. And since then, I've been able to make more telepathic connections with ships, and I can send out thoughts and have linking back and forth. But there's still this sort of I guess the like the Star Trek, the non-interference code there, which is frustrating sometimes. But you know, the connection is there. So I can like basically say hello to my Pleiadian star brothers and sisters and have that connection, but I'm like the ground crew here on Earth. So it just kind of was an awakening, and I just wanted to share that experience, I guess.
When you talk to your Pleiadian brothers and sisters, do they have names?
No, I really haven't gotten to that, I've asked for more of a physical connection and a physical encounter, but it's really a little bit more disconnected from that at this point. It's more of a clear knowing, I guess, and you know, I will feel the messages and this knowing, but I guess it's not really as much of a tangible, you know, conversation, I guess.
Wow. And how does that, do you share this with your family? I mean, who else obviously you don't talk to your boss about this, but.
Right. Yeah. I've shared this with my wife and she's and she's actually pointed out the Pleiades once to me in the sky, and just felt like it had a significance. And if you know much about astronomy, it's not a very significant feature in the sky. It's pretty small, and when I look back, you know, in my childhood, I used to see the Pleiades in the sky, and always had a significance to me. So she just felt like it had a significance, and I came to explain that, you know, my connection there, and I feel like maybe she had a connection there, but I felt like she had more of a connection to the Andromeda system.
Right.
I think we all had Lyran roots back further, but I just get these senses. So yeah, she's very open to that connection, and I guess we're kind of exploring further. We want to get a podcast out to you for your contest here. You know, we're both interested in basically kind of awakening and going into the next step beyond awakening. I guess like Laura Eisenhower talked about the 13th Stargate and kind of what comes next after the awakening.
Right.
So we both feel a kind of a strong mission, I guess, to kind of share with humanity, share the love, and basically share this message, you know, that you know, I feel like all of us, I think, have physical roots in many different star systems, but we also share different star seed origins in our spiritual and our soul connections. And you know, I think, and I'm hoping that even this broadcast here will help awaken some other people to those same sort of missions where, you know, things just seem familiar, and just to kind of get you past that physical day-to-day and wake up to, you know, I guess the grander scheme of things around us.
Well, you should enter, Alex, and it's simple. You know what to do. Just go over to our website, to the Game Changer page. You know, all the rules and how to enter the contest are right there, man. and would love to hear your pitch, and good luck.
I'll do that. I appreciate it, Jimmy, and I appreciate your show. You've really meant a lot to me and my wife. I've also gotten into your show a lot, and really appreciate all the great guests you've had, and thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Alex, and be safe out there, my friend, and enter the contest. Enter the contest. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Michael.
Hey, Michael. How are you? Don't sound so excited, Michael. You got through.
Oh man! All right, dude. I'm actually in Ohio. I'm about to fall asleep.
How are you, man?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's Thursday night, man. It's Fader night, and I got the other phone lines running. Everybody, I'll just let you know it took a little bit. Had to reset passwords. You didn't even know. Did I skip a beat on the show? No, I didn't, did I? I was sending emails back and forth, had to reset, change, and do all of that stuff, but I did it, and I got the system back up and running. So there you go. All right, Michael, how did you get here? What's your UFO encounter story?
Well, I lived in L.A. for a while, Jimmy, and around the time I met you, actually, I was on the 60 going east.
Right.
And I was in a U-Haul, right?
Right.
And I'm stuck in traffic. It's like a Friday at 9 p.m. And I look up and I see this ship descend down through the clouds. And it's like a grid of lights on the bottom of the ship. And the ship just shifted and then went back up through the clouds. And when I saw it, I said, that's a UFO.
Now, what part of the 60 were you out, like near Riverside?
No, I don't think I was quite to the 605 yet.
Okay. So you're in L.A. County.
Yeah, and the weird thing was I was in traffic, so I was wondering, did anybody else see that? You know?
Right. And I want everybody to understand what we're talking about here, because the 60 freeway, that part, and the 605 is Los Angeles proper. It's we're talking about major suburbia, millions of people. You know, it is. You're not in Los Angeles now. Right there, 60 and the 605. So that's kind of like where Pioneer High School is, West Covina area, heading out Montebello. Yeah, Montebello. That's exactly where you were at. That's a major industrial part of Los Angeles with a lot of homes. So that's the first thing I would ask myself: who else is seeing this at the same time? And at 9 p.m., there's lots of traffic. There's people out. You know, yeah. And so, did anybody else? Did you notice anybody looking?
No. You know what? The weirdest thing too was that as soon as I saw that, like I said, that those lights go back through the clouds, immediately when that happened, this is kind of weird, but there was an owl that went right across my windshield, and it came from the trees from the right side of the road.
Right.
So as soon as I saw it disappear into the clouds, I saw this owl fly right in front of me, and I was like, what the heck was that, you know? So it was kind of like boom, boom.
Wow.
And then I just was kind of like dumbfounded by the whole experience. And actually, when I got back to my place later that night, I actually turned on Coast to Coast, and I was like listening for a little while to see if anybody else was calling in or talking about anything that they might have seen that night, and at the time I wasn't really ready to call in for that.
Right.
I was kind of like, I'm just going to chill on this and just think about what happened here.
So, and I want to thank you for calling in, and you know what to do. Just head right over and shoot us an email through the contact page right there and make sure that Rita has your address. But, and before I let you go, how big was it?
Oof. I mean, it was like one of those things where it was huge, and I don't really know how to really.
Was it
I don't know exactly how.
Was it like an aircraft carrier big?
Yes.
Yeah. I have,
it was like one of those things where it like the mass of it almost like just watching it move. It looked heavy. You know what I mean? Like in the sky, it looked like there was a lot of weight to it, a lot of mass.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like one of those things where it was like, man, there was a no doubter for me.
Yeah. There's a reason why I'm asking you these very specific questions because of that area. So again, Michael, thank you for the phone call, my friend, and shoot Rita your address, and we'll get you off a book tomorrow. All right?
Oh, great, Jimmy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And now, see, this is where I'm going. I know everybody's kind of wondering. And maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I might have mentioned this on the air. Now, I have a friend, he's probably listening right now, a very successful guy, and married, you know what, I can't say the second part. That'd be the dead giveaway. You guys would figure out who I'm talking about. But anyway, so he tells me about, and he's in the general area where Michael was. Okay, he's just east of downtown L.A., which is where Michael was. Michael was east of downtown L.A., heading east on his way out on the 60 freeway. 60 freeway runs, everybody, east and west here in Los Angeles. Looks up in the sky, sees something flickering, and in the clouds he sees what looks like an aircraft carrier. Lights all over it. Right there in nearly the exact same spot that Michael was in. And I find that very, very interesting. One day I'll have my friend call into the show. He says he won't, but I will. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Oh.
Hi, this is
Okay, I'm getting an echo there.
Yeah, I'm a couple feet as well.
Yeah, why don't you? Yeah, call me right back. I'll put you at the front of the line. All right, let's switch to the other phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
It's still me, Jimmy, Olivia, and without the echo.
Oh, how did that happen? You were on two phone lines at the same...
I have no idea. I was about to hang up, too.
Now, wait a minute. That's two separate phone numbers.
Wow.
Two phone banks. Now, that's some NSA stuff for you right there.
That's strange.
That's impossible. Okay, Olivia, just tell me you called both phone numbers at the same time. You wanted to cheat, so you got through. That's okay. Just tell me the truth.
I wish I was that talented.
Man,
no,
I don't want to know that the NSA is messing with this. Tell me that you're messing with this, and I can relax.
No, that was bizarre. That was really bizarre.
Man. All right, Olivia, what got you here? What's your UFO story?
Well, I've had a few. I had one. It was in my bag. So that was the one that was kind of made me nervous. I was in my back out here in the Riverside area, and I just saw something really distant. It looked like a star, but it wasn't a star. It was moving. And okay, so I started waving. I have this thing about going out there and just waving because I want to see if I can get them to power up. And so I was waving, and all of a sudden, it started moving toward me.
Oh, right.
It started coming closer and closer.
Right on.
No noise.
Right.
And as it got closer, it looked like it stopped, and it just went bright. It lit up really super bright. And then it went out completely, almost like if it was acknowledging me. And it was. I got a little nervous, and I started to backpedal. But yeah, that was one of the stories. The other story was traveling into work, probably maybe about maybe a little bit after 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was traveling on the 60 freeway, again, the 60, going west. And traffic was slow, and I just decided to look up into the sky, and right there were two lights, just steady glowing lights. Almost, I want to say they were almost like orange in color. Not too far apart from each other. And I go, that's really weird. And I thought, well, maybe it's just a plane or something. And I'm continuing to drive and keep an eye on traffic. And I look up, and it's still there. Again, I start to drive and pay attention to traffic because it's moving. And I look up, and it's gone.
Wow.
So I start looking all over the place for it. Gone. I see stars and what have you. Nope. No sign of these two lights. It was really bizarre.
What is it? Isn't it cool when you hear somebody go, yeah, I was on the 60 freeway. I wasn't quite at the 605. And you're like, holy crap, that's my hood. And here you are telling me another story. What is it about that area?
I don't know. I don't know. The other day, and this was just yesterday or the day before yesterday, but I was looking up at the clouds, daylight, and I just was sitting down, and I see a cloud, and I'm going, that's weird, it's, for some reason, this cloud just looked weird, and I just looked at it, and looked down, looked back up, and looked for that cloud, and it was gone. And I'm going, what the hell was that? It was just really, really bizarre.
Right.
So I've seen a few things. Out at Contact when you and Rita saw the orbs. I wasn't there. I missed that because it's a long day, especially in the heat.
Right.
And I was staying 7 miles away. So that driving that distance, I was tired, but man, I would have given anything to have been there that night.
Yeah, see, that was the sleep worth it? Nope.
No, you're right. No, I keep telling myself I'm going to have to Red Bull it next time.
And then you get to hear me, talking about it and walking around and doing my thing, and you were just like, that's the last time I go to bed early.
I was kicking myself for that. I still do every time I hear you talk about it.
Olivia, send Rita an email. Let me get a book off to you.
Will do. Thank you, Jimmy. Have a good night.
Thank you, Olivia. You too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Great phone calls tonight. I got to take a quick break. This is our big UFO book giveaway all night long right here on Fade to Black. Now, I'm going to take a quick break. 323-825-5045. Phone banks are open now. Everything's open. 323-275-9695. Share your UFO story with the audience. I'll share a book from my UFO book collection with you. More of your phone calls are next. Stay with us.
Hey, what up, y'all? Sugar Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Our big UFO book giveaway night here on Fadernight. If you're on hold, stay right there. If you're lucky enough to have gotten through, oh man, crazy phones tonight. Love it. Thursday night, Fadernight, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Now, the big UFO book giveaway. This is what we're doing. You share your UFO encounter story with my audience. I will share one of my UFO books with you. It's that simple. What got you here? 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? No, you're live. 3, 2, 1. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. Okay. Let's try this one more time. You are live. Okay. Go back to the other. Okay. Yeah. Now I just switched.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Me?
Yes, you. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Troy.
Hey,
Jimmy.
Troy. How are you?
I can't believe this is the first time I've actually tried calling and I got through. This is great.
Right on.
I've got three stories to tell you. I'll tell you one.
Yeah, I got time for. Yeah, give me the best one, Troy.
This is the best one. I've had three in my life, and this is the best one. I'm a musician. And I came home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I went back out behind the barn to have a smoke. And I look up in the sky. I'm like, oh, my God. My neighbor, Medflight, who landed to pick him up for a heart attack. But 2 months before that, I thought, oh, Medflight's picking Jimmy up again. You know, my neighbor, not
right.
Jimmy.
Right.
And it's just like this light hanging over the trees, you know, right? Probably not even a quarter mile away. And all of a sudden these lights start flashing down. There was 2 of them, and then 3 of them straight down. And I looked at it, and again, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not what, I can't hear a thing. There's no helicopter noise, nothing. And all of a sudden the lights go out, poof, it was gone.
Where was this at?
This was in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, what part?
Near Baraboo, Devil's Lake.
Devil's Lake.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to help me out. I know Wisconsin pretty well.
Right in the center, it's north of Madison, but Wisconsin Dells area.
Oh yeah, the Dells. Sure. Yeah. I did a lot of hanging out in the Dells when I was a kid. Is it still happening? Is the Dells still what it used to be in the 70s?
It's what it is, what it used to be on steroids. It's just all water parks.
Yeah. It was so much fun hanging out there. That was like a big deal.
It used to be a blast. I mean, I've made a living there over the years, and I've played every piano bar and every in the area and stuff. But I just don't ever want to go back.
Now back to the sighting, though, Troy. I've got about a minute before I have to get back to the calls. Yeah. But how long did it last?
It lasted about 30 to 40 seconds.
Wow. Long enough for you to go, holy crap, right?
Once I realized what it was almost like, we're out of here. Poof, it was gone. And there was no noise. There was nothing. And I was just standing there behind the building, looking at the field, and it was gone.
Now, what about your neighbor, Jimmy? Did you tell him about what happened?
No.
You don't want to give him another heart attack, right?
Yeah, he's an old guy.
Yeah. Hey, dude, man, last night, I don't know, man, there's a UFO above your house. I came home kind of late, and you know, so there you go.
And he would ask me what I was smoking.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Troy, thank you for sharing that with us. You know what to do. Just head over to the website, shoot Rita your address, and tomorrow we'll get a book off to you, my man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jimmy. Later.
Yeah, thank you, Troy. That's a great story right there. The medvac returned to, so he thought, to his neighbor's house. I would have thought the same thing. You know, medvac, helicopter, that's a rare thing in the neighborhood, right? So think about that for a second. I would have jumped to the same thought. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, Jimmy. It's Tanette.
Hi, it's Tanette. How are you, Tanette?
Hello. I'm good, thank you.
So what got you here, Tanette? What's your UFO story? I know it's a good one.
Well, it was almost a non-sighting, which kind of sucked. Well, I went out my back door a few months ago, and I saw about 5 or 6 lights in a row over. I'm in Washington, so this was over towards the coast of Washington. It would have been towards the northwest, and it kind of looked like Orion's belt. And I'm sitting there watching it for a long time, and nothing's moving. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, maybe it was just nothing. But Orion's belt isn't over there. So I'm just looking at it, nothing's moving. So go back in the house and, you know, go to bed and whatever. Well, it was about probably a week or two later, I see the same exact thing on some videos online, and they were actually moving.
Whoa.
Yeah, so if I would have stayed there and watched them or filmed them
right.
for however much longer, they probably would have moved.
Wow, Tinette, but this is that's a great sighting, and that's incredible, and I'm glad you shared it with us. But you know what the problem with it is? You said
what?
This was just 2 months ago. You've been listening to this show for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So are you saying that you didn't have anything strange happen before that? That was your first sighting?
No, I mean, I've had a couple sightings since I was about 7.
Right.
We saw, the triangle lights out the window when I was about 7 years old, and then later on, I was probably maybe 10 or so, and we were going down a really long, straight road in the middle of nowhere, and we saw something else kind of following our car.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with my dad and my 2 brothers with me and me. But that one was like, even my dad thought it was weird at the time, which was like, back in the 80s, early 80s.
Right. So the whole family got it.
Yeah, that's not the first time, but this one, it was just significant that it's like the one that you kick yourself in the ass for not filming it.
That's right. That's where I was going. That's where I was going. Tinette, thank you for sharing. Shoot Rita a quick email. Make sure we have your address, okay? And I'll get a book off to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You got
All
it,
right,
Tinette.
good night.
Thank you. What a great... I don't even think she realized what she was saying, but the whole family probably got abducted. Yeah. That's where I'm going. Let's go back to the phones. 323. I got enough time. Let's look. We got enough time for maybe 1 or 2 more calls, maybe 3. So 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Is that me?
Yep, it's you.
All right. Yeah, it's hard to tell with the radio or the phone.
Yeah, I know.
How you doing, man?
Well, what's really cool when the callers are on hold like yourself. Oh, by the way, what's your name?
Mm-hmm. I'm Clyde.
It's Clay?
Clyde.
You go. Yeah, you get to hear everything going on. You're hearing all the other callers. It's pretty nuts, isn't it?
It is. It's nice.
Right on, Clyde. Where are you calling from?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah. I'll say this really quick before you tell me your story. There is nothing like Salt Lake City around Christmas. You drive through there. You have never. It's like Santa's Village, but for real. You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
Everything is everything is decorated, lit up, family, this, that, just winter wonderland.
It absolutely is.
It really is, man. They don't play around with Christmas in Salt Lake City. All right, Clyde.
That's right.
What got you here? What's your UFO encounter story?
I'm going to tell you the one. A really good one here with my wife. We lived north of Salt Lake, about 30 miles, in a little town called West Point, Utah.
Right.
It's the furthest west you can go in Davis County before you fall into the Great Salt Lake.
Okay.
And about 5 miles to the east is Hill Air Force Base, big Air Force Base.
That's right.
So we lived in between the Air Force Base and the Great Salt Lake. And I was coming home from work one night, and I'm looking out over it. So it's about 11:30 at night, and I see, some lights out there kind of moving around over the lake area. And they're bouncing back and forth and doing weird things and just all the strange stuff that, that we hear everybody talk about. So I get home and tell my wife about it, and she says, well, next time we see it, let's go take a look. So a couple of days later, we went out on a date, went to a movie. We're coming home. And we see this orange light in the sky that's facing the car as we're driving out in the country. So West Point was a little country town then. Maybe 600 people live there. So we're moving along, heading over to my in-laws to pick up our kids. So I'm pointing that to my wife, I'm going, that's really weird to see the light. So we just watched it, and it kind of followed us, and we pulled up to the house, and farmhouse, and went in, got the kids, didn't think a lot about it, came back out, and got in the car and went home. Nothing happened. A couple of days later, I see the lights again. And I tell my wife, I said, come on, we got to go watch these. So we put the oldest kid in charge, jump in the car, head out. It's about 10:30 at night. We go down and we watch out over the Great Salt Lake, and we see this light just out there bouncing all around. Comes to a complete stop. We're looking at the Venus. Like you see Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Stops, and we see 2 or 3 lights descend down below it. And they start flying patterns around it.
Oh, really?
And then they shoot off to the north and the south.
Oh, now we're getting interesting.
Unbelievable speed.
Right.
I mean, we are just staring at it going, this is crazy. And then they race back and forth to each other. And then they all come together in one big light, and they split out, and then we've got like 10 of them come out. And they're circling and moving around and jumping back and forth and shooting across. There's an island between us and then a mountain range behind the far west area of the Great Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that they're out past the island, but they're high enough in the sky we can see them just fine.
How big?
And then they start to come towards us.
Well, hold on for a second. How big? Okay. Let me jump in. Before they came to you, how big did you think they were?
I figured that they were probably, I'm used to seeing aircraft flying with their lights on.
Right.
From living up there, we lived up there for 21 years, so I'm used to seeing the aircraft fly at night. They do a lot of the night exercises
all day long.
I figured that they were big. They were like a bomber size.
Mm-hmm.
With the lights they had on them, when they would be coming towards us.
So now they come towards you. Now what happens?
So now they start to come towards us, and my wife's getting a little nervous, says, I think we better leave. And I said, I think we better leave. So we leave. So we go home, we talk about it, just talk about how weird and strange it is, and that nothing could, make the 90-degree turns, nothing could move as fast as these things are. So we talk about it off and on for about a week, and we're over having dinner with my in-laws. And I mentioned it to my in-laws. We saw lights and that, and my mother-in-law laughs at me. Okay?
Yeah, I'm right there.
I said, yeah. I said, but my wife saw them too. And she laughed and she said, no, she didn't see anything. And I said, did you see anything? She said, nope, I didn't see anything. And my blood pressure shot through the roof. Could you imagine Rita doing something like that to you?
She might have. In front of her parents? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I just... So I bit my tongue and said, okay. So I sat there and let them laugh at me for a while. So a few days go by, and I come home, and I see the lights out there again. Same thing. So I go home, and I get Deb, and I say, hey, let's go for a ride. So she says, okay. So we put the oldest kid in charge, jump in the truck, and head down. And I start heading down. I go, hey, look, there's the lights. So we pull over by this big pasture. It's probably about 80 acres. We're all alone. No homes, no subdivisions, nothing. And we're watching them, and they do the same tricks again, 40, just flying everywhere. About a dozen of them come down, left, right, up, down, 90-degree turns, 45-degree turns, 180, just moving like you cannot believe.
Right.
And they start to move towards us. And they're starting to get close. And Deb says, I think we need to go home. And I said, nope.
Oh, we're staying.
Yep, I said, we're staying.
Speak up, Clyde. I'm starting to lose you.
They started to get closer.
Right.
They started to get closer. She said, hey, I am really starting to get scared. We're going home. And I said, nope. She said, why won't you take me home? I said, because of what you told your mother. You denied what you saw.
How does this...
Well, I was embarrassed.
Yeah. Clyde, how did it end? Really quick.
Well, that's where I get real quick. So the lights are coming towards us, and she says, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I said, you promised me that you'll never do that again. You'll never deny. She said, I'll never deny. I said, then I'll take you home to our kids. But I said, but if you do, the next time I bring you out, we're going to wait for him to land.
Yeah.
And I took her home. And she has never denied it since.
Clyde, thank you for sharing that with us. That's a good personal story.
Fun. Thank you.
Absolutely. And head over to the website. You know what to do. Shoot Rita an email. Give us your address, and we'll get a book off to you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Clyde.
And it took a lot of time. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you so much. That's a great story right there. And, man, we're running up against it. Let's stay on the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. 3.
This is Dean. This is Dean calling from California, truck driving between Tulare and Fresno.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about, Dean. And so you're driving a truck right now, and you're going to tell me a UFO story. So can you do it?
Yes.
Can you do it and make sure we have safety first?
Yes, sir. I got you running through the stereo on the cord, so you're good.
Okay.
All right. So my trip started with my cousin was actually in the Army in the Airborne Division.
Right.
And he came home and he gave me a book. It was Behold Pale Horse by Bill Cooper.
Love it.
And I read it, and I got to thinking about it, and I thought back to my childhood, and me and my grandfather were on the front porch picking, and as we were picking, this UFO flew overhead, and it was like a triangle UFO, but the tip was kind of cut off, and it had 4 white lights underneath it with a green light going all the way around it.
Shut up.
And we were picking, and we were picking, and as we were picking, the lights on the bottom of it started kind of fading in and out to what we were playing on the guitars, and when we stopped, it stopped. It hovered there for about 30 seconds or so, and then it just shot straight up. And I asked my grandfather if he saw what I saw, and he said, yeah. And back then, this was in, probably 78, 79. And he told me, he said, it's probably just a neighbor with a remote control device down the street playing with one of his toys because he was a pilot and he had an airplane in the driveway.
Right.
And that's kind of what started me on that trip. And when I was in the Navy, I had a couple experiences out on sea and, just stuff like that. And I'm not a member of the 10 Hat Brigade. I'm not crazy. I've got all of my faculties with me. And being out here in the truck on the road all the time, I see a lot of strange stuff in the sky. And you know what? I'm a full-fledged member of the Ufology Club.
Yeah, and Dean, thank you for sharing that with us. I got a couple of questions. Can I ask you a couple of questions really quick?
Sure.
How big was it?
You know what? I actually got a good look at it because it was just over the tree line. I would say it was probably 45 to 50 feet wide and maybe about 100 feet long.
And when you went and read, and that's an amazing sighting. But now you're a Navy vet, right? And you get Behold a Pale Horse by Bill Cooper, and you start to read his stories about the Navy there, right? The submarine story is a pretty incredible story. Could you relate to it?
Oh, yes, sir, I could. I really could because there was so much stuff going on that we'd be on the bird barn and there'd be people coming in there all the time. We wouldn't know who they were. They'd go right to the commander's office or they'd go right to the captain. They would not talk to anybody on the flight deck, nothing like that. And there was just all kinds of stuff happening. I've seen the lights in the sky out on the water because it's pitch black out there. You see everything.
Right.
There'd be things shooting by and jumping up in the air. And when I read the submarine story of Bill Cooper, how they're meeting under the ice and the submarines are hooking up and they're walking from submarine to submarine and Reagan is meeting with the USSR president, stuff like that. It's just like, man, I don't necessarily know if it was a conspiracy. Maybe they were trying to get some stuff done without anybody knowing about it. But, man, it tied a lot of stuff together, Jimmy.
Yeah, and what about, Dean, did you ever see anything under the water or anything come out of the water?
You know what? The only thing I ever saw in the water was the dolphins going along the front of the ship. Other than that, I never saw anything in the water. I did see a lot of stuff strange in the sky.
Yeah, thank you for being honest about that. Now, let me ask you this, and that's the perfect, honest answer. So thank you, and thank you for your service. But now let me ask you this. If you did see something strange, either in the water, come out of the water, go into the water, would you go to your commanding officer, the XO? Would you report the story?
You know what? In all honesty, even if I would have seen something like that, no, I wouldn't have reported it because I wouldn't have want to got the medical discharge for being 4F.
That's right. And that's probably how it is handled throughout the Navy and the military.
Yeah, a lot of the times it is. You know, it's I'm not going to see it's a don't ask, don't tell thing, but just a lot of times there's stuff that's seen that goes unreported just because you don't want the discharge.
Now, this is the other thing. Are you an OTR trucker, long haul?
No, I'm local, but I go 4 hours back and 4 hours in.
So you see everything. And you're listening.
Yes,
you're listening to Fade to Black at night, and then when you're done here, you go over to Coast. Don't lie to me. I know that's what's going on, and that's okay. But
it is.
I know. So you're out there doing this. You see all kinds of strange things when you're out there on the open road, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do. I've seen things shoot across the sky. I've seen things go straight up. I've seen things go zigzag and all kinds of other patterns. A lot of times I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know what they are because I don't, but most of the time I'll see something in the sky and it's an airplane. But there's times that I do see stuff in the sky and I don't know if it's a UFO, but I don't know if it's an airplane. It's just something I can't explain what it is.
Well, Dean, I'll be over on Coast to Coast tomorrow night. You going to be on the road tomorrow night?
Yes, sir, and I will have you on the radio.
That's what I'm talking about, Dean. I really appreciate it. So when you hear me tomorrow night on Coast, I want you to think about tonight, okay? When you're driving, smile when you're on the road, okay?
Yes, sir. Can I say one more thing?
You've got 30 seconds. Go.
I want to say thank you to all the vets and the active service members for what they do to allow us to do what we do now.
That's absolutely right. Veterans Day is here. And I'm going to have Danny and Brinkley on Saturday night over at Coast to speak to all the veterans. Thank you so much, Dean, and be safe out there.
Thank you, Jimmy. Have a good night.
You too, Dean. That's what I'm talking about right there. I love our truckers, man. And I said this a couple of weeks ago on Coast, right? The trucking audience are the smartest. I'm not taking away anything from anybody. What I mean is a trucker spent so much time thinking and studying and listening out on the road. Their brains are moving all the time. I love those calls from the truck. I do. Dean, thank you so much, my friend, and be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow night on Coast. And that wraps another Thursday night, Fadernight, right here on Fade to Black. I want to thank everybody that called in tonight. It's the best UFO evening we've had in a long, long time on this show. The great UFO book giveaway. Thank you. That's amazing. I'm going to go back and listen to this show again. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Fadey by Dale. Webmaster is Drew, the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to Jon Rappoport and everybody that called in, tweeted, just made it a magical night here on Fade to Black. Tomorrow night, I'm over on Coast to Coast. My guest will be Peter Lavenda, followed by open lines all night long. Then I'm over there Saturday night, too, as well. Danny and Brinkley. And Bryce Zabel. Okay, so I'm over at Coast all weekend. Come and hang out with me. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter. Until tomorrow night, on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.